Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hey everybody, it is Farooq from UNAN. As a student, of course, in the from the Faculty of Law, University of Andalas. So you are listening to the TAS podcast. Hello guys. Before to start, I want to introduce my friends because I'm not alone right now. Uh, for the first, uh, I want you to introduce yourself, Lala. So because you're ladies, yeah, for because it is time is yours to introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, Farooq. Hello, everyone. My name is Sharila Izzata Putri Lubis. You can call me Lala. I'm from Andalas University, from Law Department, especially International Law Department. And then in this semester, I in sixth semester. That's all from me. So back to Farooq. Thank you.
I wanna ask you about how you're today. How about is your today?
Oh, okay. Thank you. My feeling is well today. I'm good, and then I'm very excited to podcast, and then with our topic right now. Yeah, I'm so excited.
I like this year for the feeling. Okay, next is my guy. Uh, it's Pontas. Without further ado, Pontas, it's time is yours to introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you. My brother is Farooq. Introduce myself is my name is Pontas Halumana Sibuan. I same as my friends. I am in sixth semester and from criminal law department. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, this good, Pontas. This good. So, we start to to talk about this topic because we are always law student and then we just learn know about the subject international criminal law. So today we were talking about the analyzed conflict regarding genocide and crime against humanity between Israel and Palestine. So we know the current situation on the Strait of the Gaza in the Palestine. There are many conflict of weapon, explosion, killing, destruction of the vital place such as hospital. Uh, and then because we as a student law we just have a question for the brain for my brain for your brain for my brain about what is happening and then what the rules that can be what the other rules that apply to such a conflict, what is the dasen and the dasolen of the action, and does the law work or not. Yeah, that's it. So because I'm just to introduce about this topic. So I wanna ask for you, Lala, uh, what you think about how did it start this conflict, and then how the current situation of the conflict.
Okay, thank you for your question. Um, in my mind, some issue. We are talking about Palestinian and Israeli conflict. So, how did it start, and how is the current conflict situation right now? So, I will start in 1948. Israel was created on land inhabited by both Jews and Arab Palestinians. So, hostilities between the two communities that year led to a mass displacement of Palestinians. So many of them became refugees in the Gaza Strip, a narrow swath of land roughly the size of Philadelphia that had come under the control of Egyptian forces in 1948. And then the status of the Palestinians remained unresolved as the protracted Arab-Israeli conflict brought recurrent violence to the region, and the fate of the Gaza Strip fell into the hands of Israel when it occupied territory in the 60 War of 1967. So, war between Israel and Palestinian militant, especially Hamas, it happened on October 7, 2023, when Hamas launched a land, sea, and air assault on Israel from the Gaza Strip. The October 7 attack resulted in more than 1,200 deaths, primarily Israeli citizens, making it the deadliest day for Israel since its independence. And then on October 7, the IDF announced a state of alert for war and began mobilizing its army reservists. And then 2 hours later, in 18 in 10 in 1023, IDF fighter jets began conducting airstrikes in the Gaza Strip. So on October 8, Israel declared itself in a state of war, and Netanyahu told a resident of the blockaded enclave, he said that, "Get out now, we will be everywhere and with all our might." So on October 9, Israel ordered a complete cease on the Gaza Strip, cutting off water, electricity, food, and fuel from entering the territory. And then, as Israel conducted airstrikes, international efforts were made to secure the release of the hostages. Qatar, which in years past has coordinated with Israel on the delivery international aid packages to the Gaza Strip, became the key mediator. But in the first week of the war, it managed to negotiate the release of only for the people held by Hamas. And then just 3 weeks after Hamas assault on October 7, more than 1.4 million Palestinians in the Gaza Strip had become internally displaced, and with numbers of Palestinians killed still climbing by the thousands, and it had already become the deadliest conflict for the Palestinians since 1947 and 48 Arab-Israel War. I think that's all from me. How did it start? Palestinian and Israeli conflict.
Okay, interesting about the information, Lala, about the situation in the Palestinian and the Israel. And because the worsening situation, there is something a little disturbing in my mind about what is a global reaction about of this war. So I wanna ask for you, Pontas, what this reaction about this war from the global by the global? What do you think, Pontas?
Thanks. I think is global reaction of this war. The October 7th Hamas attack draw with condemnations from around the world as was the nerve force is terrorists against civilians my money, including the governments of many Western countries as well as India, Japan, and South Korea. Some foreign ministries, especially those of several Arab countries, as well as Turkey, Russia, and China, refrain from condemning Hamas especially and instead restrained in the worst initial text United Soviet Press Joe Biden pledges univocal support Israel, and on October 18 a become the first Uni-Soviet president to visit Israel while it was at war. But as the war led to a defining humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip, Israel faced significant international pressures to allow limit aid into the territory. Some opponents of the war lost gets accuracy of genocide against Israel as the war moved to south of the Gaza Strip. In the December 20 and 23, South Africa sought an injunction from the International Courts of Justice to prevent failures of international genocide conventions. The following month, the courts ordered Israel to take all measured within its power to prevent genocide, including enabling humanitarian assistance in the Gaza Strip. Concerns was also raised over the potential of the war expanding into a greater regional conflict, particularly as attacked by UDF fighters on ships passing through the Red Sea, disrupted global shipping and United Soviet troops in the region faced attacks all time proved deadly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pantas, about you explain. So I got the inclusion you means like that many countries have stated the action taken by the Israel have violated the rules in the international court and have the potential to be prosecuted, right? So based on about your explain, Pontas, I got a point about what are the possible order committed by Israel against Palestine. Her, here from the explanation Lala and you, I concluded that are the crime again a crime committed is the genocide and a crime against humanity. So the first one in the context of the genocide, the term refers to the mass slaughter or the extermination of the particular ethnic, race, racial, religious, or national group. However, the use of the term genocide in the context of the Israel-Palestinian conflict is a highly sensitive, right? And controversial. Some claim that Israel action against Palestine, yeah, in the occupied terrorists, including the construction of the settlement or the vital place, I think, and then the blockade of the Gaza Strip made the criteria of the genocide, while the other reject the claim. I mean, but this is discussion that is often confused in the media because there are many misconceptions about the two things, yeah, right? So about my explain before, I wanna ask for you, Lala. How about you perspective? Is the Israel-Palestinian conflict the considered genocide? Yeah, I mean like what your perspective about the conflict? Consider genocide.
Before we delve into the genocide issues in the Israel-Palestine that we have talked before, let's have a look what a genocide means and what scope of it from Article 6, the Rome Statute states, mentioned that genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. The act of genocide consists of life calculated to bring about a physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group and or forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. That we all know about the means of genocide from Article 6 from Rome Statute. And then so from the article related to this situation, in my opinion, this is a genocide crime because it appears to be Israeli intention to destroy Palestinians as a group, like in whole or in part. A key clause in the Convention Against Genocide, there are three elements which point to possible genocide. I'm highlight 3 points. And the first point is killing members of the group. Second, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group. And the last is deliberately inflicting on the group condition of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. So the death toll in Gaza currently will over uh, 33,000 according to Gaza's Hamas Health Ministry. The bombing of densely populated areas and the restriction on aid supplies are all proof the report claim or intend to destroy the group. So, in conclusion about my opinion, this is the genocide crime.
Okay, okay. What about you, Pontas? What did you know about the crime against humanity that happened in Palestine? What do you think about it, Pontas?
Okay, thank you for guest for my brother Farouk. I think that I know about the crimes against humanity they offended in Palestine is as far as I cannot lay Israel's treatment of Palestinians has been widely condemned as a crime against humanity, with various organizations and reports detailing the severity of the violence. The reports highlight various forms of violence and discrimination committed by Israel authorities against Palestine, including uncloudy killings, forced displays, segregation, and discrimination, the denial of basic rights and freedoms. Civilians were targeted, attacked, and killed, stressing the Israel force unfairly used white force arms in densely populous areas. The report said they ordered the evacuation of all people from North Gaza and displaced million people. Israel has launched released air and ground attacks on the Gaza Strip signs and cross-border attack by the Palestinian group Hamas, which the Israel killed around 1,200 people. At least 23,357 Palestinians have since been killed, but mostly women and children. According to Palestinian health authorities, according to Article 7 of Rome Statute, Israel has violated several rules, which are more than the varieties or privacy transfer of population, the crime of affair. Its legacy Israel is its most best accountability for their crimes in Palestine. Thank you. Thank you, my brother Farouk.
Okay, okay, my brother Pontas. This is a good thing, interesting. I think it's interesting. I think we need to look at what is happening in the Palestine. Yeah. So, uh, next for you, Lala. I what is evident or the indicator? I mean, like the genocide and the crime against humanity in the context of the Israel-Palestinian conflict. What do you think about that, Lala?
Okay, thank you for your question. So, Pontas have mentioned about crimes against humanity before. So, I'm in genocide before Pontas. So, what is the evidence or indicator of genocide and crimes against humanity in the context of Israel and Palestinian conflict? So, evidence or indicator of genocide and crimes against humanity in the context of the Israel and Palestinian conflict include several events and policies cited by various sources and potentially meeting the legal definition of genocide. So this include with 4 points. And the first point is blockades and siege. The blockade of Gaza Strip, which resulted in severe restriction on the movement, people and goods, was described as a form of collective punishment and a means of creating life-threatening condition for the population. And then the second, military action. Israeli military action, such as airstrikes and ground invasion have resulted in many casualties and property damage, particularly in Gaza. And this action have been criticized for targeting civilian infrastructure, including hospitals, schools, and residential areas, which can be seen a deliberate attempt to destroy the condition necessary for survival of the Palestinian population. And then 3, humanitarian crisis. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is described as catastrophic, with widespread poverty, unemployment, and a lack of access to the basic necessities such as water, electricity, and health care. And that the crisis is attributed to Israel's blockade and military action, which make it difficult for aid to reach the people. And the last is racism and discrimination. The Israeli and Palestinian conflict is characterized by intense racism and discrimination against Palestinians, so which is perpetuated through policies and action that disproportionately impact the Palestinian population, and it includes the Israeli government's treatment of Palestinians in Israel, as well as its policies toward Palestinians in the occupied territories. So, if we can check it by the fact, so we can check by the news, and then like a BBC, maybe Al Jazeera and the other media. So I think Farouk can maybe show to us what is the conflict about Palestinian and Israeli that have right now. So maybe you have some videos can just show to us that maybe audience can understand actually what is the conflict right now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see what Israel has done to Palestine. Wait, miss. So in the video, show it the Palestinian detained stripped by Israel force. I mean, like the burning down of the all food donation made by but like I mean like the Israel like the max from the airstrike to attack the donation food camp in yeah. Israel has
So
been to explode the environment in the Palestina. Yeah, I think it's so crazy though.
yes, me too.
Okay, based on the previous discussion, there is something important to know about the accountability for the criminal act. I mean, like the responsibility for this criminal act. So, who you think, who is the man behind the criminal act that we need to take the ICC? I mean, like the responsibility about the criminal act. This is.
Okay, for my perspective, we all know Israel has a prime minister. He is Benjamin Netanyahu. So the one that is responsible and will be tried in ICC, I think, is Netanyahu. Because he orders the attack on Palestine and encourage the genocide of Palestinian. And then this is stated in Article 25 of Rome Statute. A person who commits a crime within the jurisdiction of the court shall be individually responsible and liable for punishment in accordance with Rome Statute. So Africa has suggested to bring it to ICC, and then making the situation about Palestinian between Israel is one of the genocide and then crimes against humanity. So I think Benjamin Netanyahu, we can responsible in ICC, and everyone knows about that. Maybe that's all from my perspective.
Okay, so is it possible if they involve the Israeli military to the court? What about Pontas?
Yes, thanks. Question is my brother Farouk is very nice. I think I think the that possible if we involve the Israel leader military to the courts, the jurisdiction of international criminal courts ICC are limited to the most serious crimes of concurrence to the international community host war, which included genocide and crime against humanity. Home, home fair Israel is not head state party to the ICC, which means it has not ratified the Rome Statutes the established is the ICC. This makes in the challenge for the ICC to investigate and prosecute Israel's leaders directly because the court has no jurisdiction over it. The ICC can investigate and prosecute individuals, regardless of their national, if they are accused of committing crimes under the jurisdiction of the ICC. Home first for Israel leaders to be involved in the ICC. They would need to be accused of committing crimes outside of Israel or in situation where the ICC has jurisdiction. So has in no state party or under on security council referral. Give this condition it is included the Israel leaders, included military personnel who be involved in the ICC for their action in the Gaza conflict. Thank you, my brother Farouk.
Okay, I got your point. So the act committed by Israel cannot be tried by the ICC because Israel is no one of the country that did not ratify the Rome Statute. Okay, so the next segment, I think, Lala, please give your closing statement about this topic tonight. What about the thing about this topic?
So, okay, I think this is our last session, yes. I'm very sad to leave this our interesting topic, our podcast, but we have a limited time. So yeah, I will give my conclusion about our topics today. So Israel has breached international law for countless time. People of Palestine has been killed, starved, and tortured. It's basically from crimes against humanity categories. It is time for the whole world to stop Israel. So Netanyahu and the IDF must held accountable for genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes. Never again should mean never again for anyone, including Palestinian, and not only for Jewish people, but not only for Jewish people, but only for us. And then it's a free Palestine until Palestine is free. Israel has been accused of committing crimes against humanity, including war crimes and the crime of apartheid by various organizations and experts. These accusations are based on the systematic oppression and domination of Palestinians by Israeli authorities, which has resulted in severe abuses of fundamental rights and freedoms. Even though Israel is not a state party of the Rome Statute, which referring to the ICC not being able to take legal action because it outside its jurisdiction. We hope that other international organizations can take advanced steps to prosecute Israel so Israel can face accountability for its action to Gaza. But I have some conclusion too. another conclusion. So, in my opinion, again, this is ongoing conflict between Palestine and Israel is case of both of genocide and crimes against humanity, and then absolutely is international criminal law. I believe Israeli are conflicting three genocide acts, including what we talked about before, like killing, causing serious bodily harm, and measures calculated to bring about the destruction of the group. And then my points to the mass level of destruction and total sets of basic necessities like water, like food, and medical supplies as audience. And then as Indonesian, I always support for Palestine because it's mandatory. But it's mandated by the 1945 our constitution of the Republic Indonesia. And then the 1945 Constitution explicit state that independence is the right of every nation. So colonialism in the world must be established, must be, we can say no. And then as it is again to the Palestinian problem must be based and on the two-state principle that respect international law and parliamentarians agree upon internationally. So that's all from me about the conclusion between Palestinian and Israel conflict. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lala. So I think is the last session because we I just as a guide to podcast right now. I think I made the conclusion to I think in the case of the Israel-Palestine conflict, they are the ended action that the fulfilling the element of the actus reus as a state in the definition of the genocide and a crime against humanity such as murder, torture, displacement, and the suffering of the Palestinian civilization. However, to determine whether Israel action constitute genocide, it is necessary to prove the existence of the mens rea to destroy the Palestinian people in the whole or in the part. This is not easy, right? And require a deeply study. In the same way, to prove the crimes against humanity, it is necessary to prove the Israel attack, right, on the Palestinian civilian widespread and systematic and are the part of state policy, which is also requires investigation and a proof that is not simple. Yeah, that's all. Thank you guys to join the podcast tonight. I think uh enough to me for uh as a podcast as a guide podcast. Okay, but thank you guys. Bye.
Thank
See
you,
you later.
everyone. See you later.